This video has no hooks, no thrilling intro, no dramatic music, and no intense scenes to just get the public hours. The reason you should be watching this video is so that you can incorporate these points that I have selected myself from a quite popular book. I have explained it and simplified it in a much finer way so that you can understand and use it in your daily-to-daily life to get numerous benefits. Now diving into it, I read a book a couple of days back. It's called A Manual for Living by Epictetus. Well, it's not actually written by Epictetus. It's when one of his disciples decided to write his lessons while he was speaking. Well, Epictetus is not someone from this era actually. He was a Greek philosopher who used to live in the Roman times. Sharon Lebel, the writer of this book, decided to write all this. Epictetus was once a slave who became a great Stoic philosopher later in the days. I know you must be like right now thinking philosophy, literally philosophy. You can leave the video if you want, but to me philosophy is one of the most underrated topics that is ever discussed. Philosophy is a way that we think, the way that we behave, and the way that we feel. Sadly saying that people ignore such an important pillar of life. And psychology is very much famous nowadays. But psychology and philosophy are not that far apart. The most important thing is that Epictetus never gave that much concern to the world. He always focused on pursuit of moral excellence, meaning moral perfection. I guess he was like the Buddha of the Roman Empire. Even the late Roman ruler Marcus Aurelius was one of his distinguished students. What surprises me the most is that his words were that powerful that even at this time, he could have easily impacted the man of this era. As today's man faces more mental pain than any other time. Okay, enough introduction of the writer. Let's get to point number one. Point number one, approach life as if it were a banquet, which mostly means that enjoy what you have in your possession right now. And like a banquet, wait for the right moment so that you can get what you want. Because you might not get the dish that you really want in the first chance. So maybe you can get it in the first row or in the second row. But the main thing is have patience and enjoy what you have right now so that when you get the chance, you can get what you want. So if you miss the first chance, don't worry. Wait for the second chance to come. You might get it at that time. Point number two, events don't hurt us, but the way we view them can. He says that our attitude and reaction are the ones that cause us pain or trouble. How we view things is important. Therefore, if there is a death, it's a pretty terrible news. But we cannot change the external circumstances. And if things are to happen, it will happen. But how we choose to respond to that is in our hands. So if there is a death, it doesn't mean that you don't cry. Everyone will be sad, but there is that sorrow which is there, which you need to let it go. You can't cry and be sad for your lifetime. You can view it in this way. It's fine, one of my important family member I have lost, but I need to be more stronger so that I can fulfill that missing place and I can take care of this family. Instead of taking that as a loss, take it as a motivation that you need to be strong. Number three, desire demands its own attainments. Attainment means the same as achievements. By this, the writer means that when there is a sudden urge of getting something, or there is a desire that you want something and you're unable to get it, you worry thinking that how could I even fail getting this? I should have gotten this. As it's not in your control to get it in the first time, even the second time, even the third time, but the only thing that you can do if you have that desire, you can chase after it. Until you get it, that's in your hand. So if you have a desire, go after it until you get it. Then you'll be fully satisfied after your failure of 3 times even. Number 4, no shame, no blame. By this, the writer wants to say that only foolish people are the ones who always want to be the ones who are always right in every situation and the ones who never make any mistakes. But the people with real wisdom know that by accepting their mistake, they will not only be true to themselves, but also learn from it. And there is nothing gained by blaming others or yourself, because the key to success is by moving forward. And remember, blaming everyone helps no one. Number 5, we go to create your own merit. By this, the writer means that in the process of creating your own path, the one that you will understand and develop it yourself, not everyone will be happy with what you're doing. Even the people who love you will not like the idea that you're going on with. So understand yourself, grow yourself, see how your ideas work, and don't depend on anyone. Number 6, make full use of what happens to you. By this, the writer wants to say that in life there's a lot of things that happen to us, sometimes good, sometimes bad. If there's something good, enjoy it. If there's something bad, learn from it. Take it as an opportunity for you to learn and make it like a source from which you can take advantage later. The same way, if you're in a lot of pressure, learn how to tolerate it. If you're waiting for something from a very long time, learn to be patient. Number 7, always keep your will within your power. It's true that if you're willing to do something, there is no power that can hold you back. If you have a strong sense of why, which means you have a strong reason why this thing needs to be done. Let's take an example like if your leg is injured and you need to reach to a destination. What will you do? If you have a will that is strong enough, you will ignore that injury and you'll be like, I need to reach there no matter what. Even if my leg is injured, I will ignore that pain and I will focus on going to my destination. That's why if you have a strong will, no one can stop you. Number 8, character matters more than reputation. You can be powerful, you can be wealthy, and you can be in a very big position. Well, I guess that's what we call reputation, right? The way you treat someone is very important, right? The way you speak to them, the way you see them, the way you value them, that tells a lot about someone's character. How you understand people, how you respect people, how you talk to them, regardless of their wealth, status, big position, that's what defines a man's character. Being a well-charactered person is far much greater than reputation. So always value character more than reputation. Because reputation is just the view of someone else. Because reputation is something that how people see you in their point of view. It's not literal what makes you a person. One of my favorite, all advantages have their price. When you see someone enjoying opportunities and privileges, a lot of wealth, lot of properties, don't be taken away from them. For them to enjoy that kind of privilege and luxury, someone must have paid the price. It can be his mother, his grandfather, or his father, regardless, but someone must have paid the price. That's why they have that opportunity in hand. So for you to enjoy the same and equal kind of opportunities and privileges, someone must pay the price. Number 10, everything has two handles. Here we are not talking about vessels or pots which have two handles. Here we are talking about situation and how to handle them. Meaning that every situation has two ways of viewing them. You can hold any, but if you hold the wrong one, you might get hurt. So every situation has a way of viewing them positively and negatively. It's upon you to decide which handle to hold so that you don't get hurt. Let's take an example. You are in a family, you are the eldest sibling, and the siblings that are under you, they view you in a poor way. So now you have two choices. Either you can beat them up and teach them a lesson that I'm elder than you, I know more than you, or you can make them realize that the time you were suffering or the time you didn't know things, I was there for you as a support and helped you. So by beating them and showing them down, it will only bring more aggression and more hate. So you can either handle it in this way or you can handle it by showing them that I'm your support, you don't need to fight with me. So choose your handle correctly. Number 11, living wisdom is more important than knowing about it. By this, the writer wants to say that there is a very big difference in knowing something and doing something of value. While knowing something of value is great, but knowing something and practicing it gives you a far more greater power and control over it. Take an example of eating something or even a simple exercise. Knowing what to eat is great, and even knowing the theory of our exercise and everything is great. Like, I know how this dish is supposed to be made, I know how to do this exercise, I know it, but I don't practice it. So knowing something and practicing something in a practical way gives you a much more power and control over it. Like, I know eating this is healthy, but I don't. I know exercise is healthy and it's good for my body, but I don't. So what's the use of it? So if you know something, it's good, but knowing and practicing it is much better. Coming to the final point, number 12, always live your ideals. By this, the writer means that just to be in the group, just to be in the mob, that you want to be recognized, don't go on the path the way they go in. Maybe you don't like what they do or how they do it, but you're just there so that you can be recognized by people, because those are not your ideals. It's okay to be different, but do follow your ideals, which will feel that that is right, and that will be a very big change. Do what makes you valued. Well, I'm done with the 12 points, which I thought are the best in the book, but it's up to you to understand them and how to implement them in your life to get the best results. The main theme of this book are of 3 points. Number 1, mastering your desires. Number 2, performing your duties. Number 3, learning to think clearly about yourself and relation with others. I will put the link of the book in the description section so that you can read it. It has 73 pages of main writing and 63 very good points also. Let me know in the comment section which points from the 12 you liked the best. Share it with your friend if you want them to hear it, and give me a thumbs up. And I hope you got something valuable out of this video. I'll see you in the next video. See you.